My office was in a mess. Morale was low, a pigeonhole table, chair, all paper, boxes. And we really needed an IT system, but we were broke. We didn't have the money. What do I do? Cry lah, what else? And anyway, long and short, at the end of it, the investors and my shareholder realized, hey, Dr. Loh, you started the 2 baby, right? Come back and run it. I said, okay, Loh, but then my clinic, how? I got to give up lah. I look at it, so many people as take doctors as life rice book. I said, I think it's the only responsible thing to do. So I came back, and then I look at it. I use a piece of paper, I draw left side MHC, right side this .com company. Then I realized the left side MHC got some business, no IT system. Right side got $500,000 but no business. The only logical thing, you would have done the same thing, all right? Business very logical, and just be logical. You marry the two together. And that's how we turn things around. I persuaded the investors and my corporate shareholder of both sides, come together, work together, and I be the common CEO. Otherwise, I see on both sides conflict of interest also, all right? Remember, don't get into a conflict of interest situation. So I did the right thing by marrying the two entities together. We took the $500,000 to build the first web-based systems, and I made the most drastic and scary decision ever. I terminated the contract of 150 doctors. My director said, you're crazy. Yeah, this person was probably right, because after 3 weeks, none of the doctors re-signed back the new agreement. The new agreement required them to now go online to submit all their medical claims, to use the internet. Nobody signed up for 3 weeks. You know how scary, what's like to a nightmare? This is nightmare, all right? I thought, summer, I really crazy, you know, I did the wrong thing. But on the 4th week, miracle happened. Faxes start to come in. I don't know why, no. People like to come together. When the shop is empty, it's always empty. But when it start to have people, more people come aboard. When the first fax came in, more faxes came in. Maybe the fax was jammed, I don't know. I don't know. But by the end of 4th week, we signed on 180 clinics. We signed on 180 clinics. Have you ever heard the story about this scientific conference? The Russians stood up and said, we Russians have been digging in Moscow for the past 200 years, and we found thick subterranean cable. And I think the telex was invented by Russians. The Americans stood up and said, we also have been digging in Washington, we found thin copper wire after 100 years. I think telephone was invented by Americans. Singaporeans stood up, scientists from, is it A-Star? I don't know. Maybe I got it wrong. So I said, hey, we also in Singapore, we dug and dug in Pulau Ubin for 150 years. We found no wires. I think wireless technology was invented by Singaporeans. MHC may not have invented wireless technology, but we are definitely the first in Southeast Asia to link up a network of 180 clinics with internet. And that was a breakthrough to us. All right? And when I came back to run MHC, it's not a bed of roses. It was a, you know what is war zone? You know what it's like after the tsunami? I think it's something like that. It's terrible. Morale is low, paper, boxes everywhere, no system, database, IC, one IC, two name, one IC. That kind of situation, you know what kind of chaos? Complaint, no address, phone ring non-stop, you know what it's like? It's terrible. Lawsuit from our own doctors, directors, shareholder. You know, how is it like to have no friends? They don't trust you. I was a one-man show coming back to clean house. It's terrible. I told myself, I have to turn this around. I know nuts about business. You may not have gone to business school, trust me, but you can go to Borders, but I heard they closed shop already. Or go online, buy an app book, okay? Dummy guide to running a business. I did that. I bought the dummy guide to customer service. I read from cover to cover. I conducted my first customer-centric training for my staff. I made them wear uniform. I rebranded the company. I learned how to use Photoshop and created the logo. I did the rebranding exercise. I reviewed all the SOP. That's where Army training came useful. Army taught you how to write SOP. All right? I engaged my staff. I cleaned up database, and because of that, I learned DBase 3 and 4. All right? This is how you learn. You're forced to a corner. I micromanage cash flow. For the first time, I understand what is amortization, what is depreciation. I understand that, you know, cash is your blood of the business. It's important to manage it. I did that. I also put my medical training to good use. If a something is bleeding, cut it off, stop the bleed. So there were few clinics that were bleeding like crazy. I chopped off the unit that were bleeding, and we improved our cash flow. And by the year 2002, we repaid the $2 million of debt to our corporate shareholder. Give me a clap, Lay. And I raised my head up and give back $500,000 to my investors in the .com company. You know, the .com company, up to now, those investors are still my friend and grateful to me that I did not run over their money. I know $500,000 peanuts to them, but they know that I tried my best. So we still remain as friends, you know. And the payment doctors were prompt now. Now at least I dare to tell people I'm CEO MHC, all right? But then I still have 50 shareholders. How to solve the problem? Every time meeting, decision have to make with 14 days notice. It's not easy. But then interestingly, you know, somehow miracle happened. A company that was about to go IPO decided to do a hostile takeover of us, bought over this minority shareholder. Actually, I'm very happy because it's cleaning up for me. It's easier to deal with one party than 50 people, all right? And I let them carry on. And in the end, at the long and short of it, is we finally maneuvered a management buyout, and we got rid of buyout all the 50 shareholders. It was a life-changing experience. For the first time, I know what it's like to do a M&A, merger acquisition. For the first time, I know what it's like to do a MBO, management buyout. It's not that difficult. If I know it as a doctor, you also can learn it. All you need to do is go through the fire and brimstone. All right? And finally, like daylight, I finally reached the dreams that I want. 1,000 clinics in Singapore, all link up, not just with internet, but with iPhone, terminal, IVR, you know. Amazing. That's what we reached after so many years. And now, almost all the major insurance companies, you name it, AIA, Aviva, HSBC, all using our network. The insured member can go and see our network of doctors cashless. And our corporate clients are in thousands, big names like StarHub, FairPrice, OSIM, Binance Trade, the whole list long. And these guys have to pay me for advertising the logo here, no, seriously. And guess what? I hated the limelight, but in the end I decided I had to go out to the public to fund the company. If you give birth to the baby, don't surrogate the limelight to someone else. For goodness sake, tell the whole world you're the father of the company. For goodness sake, tell the whole world you're the mother of the child, right? You know how ashamed it is the child to know that the mother don't want to let people know that you're my child? So that's what I was like. Terrible father, terrible founder. So I decided to change all that, you know. And I decided that things have to change, and we went for an award, and our technology was recognized. We recently, last year, we won the Entrepreneur of the Year award by ASME, together the subcategory for Infocom and Technology, sponsored by StarHub.